All right, y'all. So, what we're going to talk about this video? Um, I feel like women process breakups um a whole they really feel it, you know, when they go through a breakup with a man. You know what I'm saying? Like they really feel it. And I know that a lot of people say get under someone else to get over someone, right? And it's the worst. And I know like a lot of women fear seeing their man with someone else, or after the breakup maybe they've been planning it this whole time, right? They've been secretly cheating on you and looking for other women so that when they leave it won't hurt as much, right? Or if they know that you're going to leave them, you know what I'm saying? They start preparing and looking for your replacement, you know what I'm saying, right? So I want you to know, don't, as a woman, don't do that. Don't you do that. Even if you know that he's doing it or you feel like he's going to do that, don't do that. And do not be afraid to see him with another woman or another person, because just because they're with someone else, you know, that doesn't really mean anything. It's another person. It just, shows you where their focus is at and their mind is at, right? And that's good for you that their focus in their mind is on another person. Like they would rather fill that void with another person versus, self improvement or something a bit more valuable, something, I don't know, just something a little bit more valuable. It's something that really matters. So, and usually it doesn't last forever. Sometimes it does. And it doesn't, it doesn't mean like it's a really good uh, situation either, because let me give you a good example. I witnessed someone like uh, they moved on really fast, right? And they're still together like to this day. I think it's been what, 10, 12 years, but the woman is miserable. She's being cheated on, and then he's been all over the place. You know what I'm saying? Like, ugh, just all over the place. Um, and I'm not even speaking on like anything I've been through, whatever. But I do have experiences that I can reference. But this particular one came to mind because I was just like, oh my God, you know, he acted like he loved her so much when he initially left, but he drug her through the mud. Like it's crazy. Um, and she just sits there and puts up with it just to have him around. And I talk to her and try to be like, girl, you can do so much better. Like, what are you doing? But she's hooked. Just doesn't want to lose him and doesn't want to see him with someone else. But sometimes seeing him with someone else is the best thing you can do, because it's just letting you know where their mind is at. Like what you do, the first thing you do after you break up with someone is like you should sit and think about it, right? And then let all the thoughts rush in. Your brain is going to play the memories. But make sure that you're looking at the reality and not the potential. What you wanted it to be, what he could be. Look at it. Look at the raw data for what it is. Even the hurtful times. Maybe he said some hurtful things to you. Maybe he tried to make you feel less than, I don't know. Look at all that, right? And you take that energy and then you transmute it. You turn it into something good for your own benefit. It sounds so easy, right? It's better said than done. But I think I need to give you an example, but I'm going to think of one. So, okay. This is a good example. So just look at, him leaving, right? Let's say that while y'all were together, you were truly unhappy, and he was maybe he had bad communication. I don't know. Maybe he had some bad habits that he just wouldn't get rid of. So think about it, like now you don't have to even think about any of that. So that freed up space for you. You know what I'm saying? That weight is now lifted, so that you can focus on some things that are more important, and more beneficial to your life. So, just something as simple as that. That's transmutation, right? And that will help you change your internal state. Because when the man moves on with another woman, ladies, he's only changing his external world. That's it. That's it. But too many people are, focused on the external. But it's the internal that really matters, because that internal is going to determine what you get, what you bring into your world. And also, I feel like women be like, oh, he's going to find someone better, or maybe he will tell you that she's better than you. But think about it like this: what the fuck does that really mean, that he found a quote unquote better woman? That's subjective. So maybe he wanted a woman that's gonna wash his underwear, that's gonna shut up, and she's better at doing that, and you're just not. Maybe you like to, hire a maid or a cleaning service. Maybe you like to communicate and talk things out, and he doesn't want a woman that's verbal. He wants one that just shuts up and listens. And she's just better at doing that, and you're not. So why would you want her place, anyway, to begin with? So just think about all the bad things. Think about all the things you complained about and you disliked that drove you to leave his ass anyway. You know what I'm saying? Because when he's there, it bothers you so much and you're ready for him to go. But then when he leaves, it's like, I miss his what? You miss the addiction. You miss that presence that, it just feels a little empty, a little lonely. Just deal with that. Okay, because that's better than what you used to feel while he was there. It's like that Ashanti song, Foolish. What she say? I beg you. I forgot. We're gonna have to look at the lyrics, whatever. Someone drop it in the comment or something. But like, it's very important that you look at the raw data, and you remember why you left to begin with, and you use that to your advantage. But do not go find another person. You take all of your energy, let him pour his energy into someone else while you pour yours into you. So you can build yourself up and you can start to manifest things that you've always wanted. Like, just, girl, think wild, think big, think bigger than a person. You know what I'm saying? And then set yourself up to be aligned with those things. Because your magnetic field after a breakup, it's going to be chaotic. It's going to be chaotic. And even with him, like finding someone while being with you, what he attracted can be chaotic, right? And a lot of things, people make things look real good on the outside. But behind closed doors, you don't know what the fuck is really going on. So you just know that you made the right decision. Be very confident in your choice. You know that while you two were together, you were not aligned. It didn't work out. Stand on that. And just because you see someone moved on with another person, like, it doesn't mean like anything. It doesn't mean the world is over. It doesn't mean there's something wrong with you. It doesn't mean she's quote unquote better than you. Like, don't feel like you need to get another person just because this person. Never match energy. Stand in your own energy. Never do what that person is doing, because you're going to get what they get. And most of the time, they don't have anything that you want. They don't live the life that you desire. So you're not going to want to do the things that they do, So, anyway, I feel like this message is so important to women, because they talk about, just replacing men and getting with another man, and Mm-mm. You don't want to do that. And when you replace the energy, when you feel that void, you want it filled with something that you really want. Because the cycle is going to start all over again with another person. Like, you want to pour into you and build up your life and build up yourself so that the next person you attract will be the last person. That's how you get, like, to the marriage, if you want to be married or whatever it is you want. You really just want a genuine connection. You got to weed out all the bullshit. Stop being a placeholder. Stop playing around, wasting time with men just to pass time or to feel wanted. Want yourself. Let the things you want you. Like, like, let that new house want you in it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I hope you're following. Let that new house want you in it type stuff. Like, but please do not go over there running your body count up. And let me tell you something else. Start practicing sexual transmutation. Because we ovulate, we get real horny. I miss him. I want him to touch. I miss his touch. I miss the sex. It's just dick. You can do that to yourself. And I think that's the best thing. And it'll help with your manifestation. So when you feel that urge, right, you go love on you. And just imagine, you doing all the things you want to do, feel real sexy and, you know what I'm saying? And then go rub one out. And then don't come. Like, practice sexual restraint. Don't climax. Stop when you about to climax. I do it about 3 times. I don't know. I be thinking about the 369, but I do about 3 times, right? So, and at that climax moment, visualize or already have a picture ready. I had AI make me a picture of me in my desired outcome, like, big house, money, blah blah blah. And then I look at that, like, right when I'm about to come, like, and I talk shit to myself, like good stuff, you know what I'm saying, while I'm doing it. So practice that sexual transmutation, because when you don't release that energy, it goes up. It goes up. You know what I'm saying? That energy is very beneficial. You need it. You don't need to just be releasing it and wasting it on fantasizing about a man that hurt you or a man that isn't adding any real value to your life. Because a lot of y'all think that little stuff that he was doing or what y'all had was really something. And no. And I promise you, ladies, you can do for yourself a whole lot more than what most men can do. A lot of women be like, they're going around there saying that men are broke. So if men are broke, a lot of men are broke, why would you deal with them? Why would you look for them for anything? You know what I'm saying? And that will help bring balance back to the world, because once you start doing that, then there's less women available for men. So then they're going to be forced to do it instead of just going from woman to woman. If all the women decide to focus on themselves and pour into themselves, then what are the men going to do? Fuck each other? I mean, they will, but I'm just saying, like, for those of them that really like women or want, desire women, they're going to get it together and do what needs to be done to get women. But I promise you, it's all a mind game. It's all a trick. Your brain tricks you and makes you feel like you're missing out on something, or that the solution is to get another man, and it's not. It's not. That's the old code. That's the old pattern, because you had a man. That's just running. So it feels like, okay, to get that feeling back, we got to do this. No, you got to reprogram your mind into generating that feeling through other experiences. Just saying, like, basically pretty much date yourself and take men off the table. Take them off the table. So yeah, after you go through a breakup, do like a level up. And as I'm sitting here thinking this, Sierra came to mind. Think about her. I remember her speaking on what she did after breaking up with Future. Yes, take that moment to be alone, important to you, so that you can align with something genuine. Because when you do that, you just don't understand what it's going to do to your magnetic field, bro. Y'all need to look up magnetism in your magnetic field. We have magnetic fields around us the same way this planet does. Like, we are electrical beings. We are electric. Okay? And I'm gonna have to make a separate video for that, but it gets really deep, y'all. It gets really deep, because I had a situation where my iron went low. You know what I'm saying? Because the relationships and breakups and stuff it will affect you physically. Like, it will start to manifest physically. So you really got to get your mind right. This whole vessel, it's a system. Like, in a system, you gotta, it has requirements, it has needs and stuff. You got to take care of the system. But anyway, yeah, so I had to get a blood transfusion, and then I had to get iron transfusion, because I was low on iron. But even having low iron affects your ability to it affects your magnetic field. Let that sink in. Well, I'm gonna have to make a separate video talking about that. But your body affects your magnetic field. That's why, like, when doing like manifesting, that's pretty much magic. Let's say that you gotta eat right. You gotta eat right, because your cells are alive, and they're putting out a signal, a frequency, and you're gonna pull things in based on that frequency. What are you pulling in? Do you know? Whatever you putting out, that's what you're pulling in. So, that's another thing to prioritize after the breakup is your nutrition. Like, that's one of the first things to hit. Is like, go ahead and get your mind right and get your nutrition right. And I feel like that's the easy things to do. A lot of people, like I said, focus on doing something externally in action. But inaction is inaction. Sit still, just chill, you know what I'm saying? Just chill. And work on that internal, the internal system. And then watch the rest fall in play. Watch everything come to you effortlessly. You ain't gotta do much action. We talking about quantum leaps here. Okay? So yeah, after a breakup, do not jump into another one. I'm gonna start writing this stuff down, because I know I had more to say. Like, I should have gave you like a 3-step thing to do after a breakup. But the most important thing though is transmutation, transmuting all the energy, the sexual energy and the mental energy. Like, do it. Sorry, it's raining. But that way, that's how you turn your pain into power. That way you're not leaking energy. Because when you, like, if you don't do that, right, that energy is still going somewhere. Where is it going? And that's going to determine what you receive. So think about what you want to receive. So that's why you got to be intentional and transmute the energy. You gotta do it. So, and that's also how your mind will start to generate new thoughts once you dismantle that old illusion, of what could have been, and look at what is, and then turn it into what you want it to be. Because the undesirable thoughts are coming in, things you didn't like, things that hurt you, and you flip it and turn it to things that could benefit you. And then once you do that, I promise you, the first day you do it, you're going to feel and see the results. You're going to start thinking about him less and less and less. By day 2, it's going to be a breeze. By day 3, he doesn't exist. That's real healing. Do not bed rot. Don't do that. That is not going to help you at all. There's nothing wrong with you. It's a mind thing. It's all in your mind. Don't, you know what I'm saying? Like, uh, just don't bear right, okay? Don't fall into a depression. This is also how you battle depression without medication. You know, you got to take control. You got to, you know, be the observer. Like, get in the driver's seat, and observe. You know, that's what they talk about when we speak on consciousness, because you're consciously doing this. Most of us are unconscious. They're letting the brain run the show. Bypass the brain. The brain is where all the feelings at, the memories, and the fog. Skip over that and connect to the mind, that higher being, who's not below, you know, who's not under the brain's influence, and consciously evoke that being, you know, and be aware of the script that the brain is running. For example, a thought comes in like, he called me fat. Okay, I don't know. Process that thought, right? You heard it, and then say, for me, you know, because it's gonna look different for everyone else. Maybe he was fat. You know what I'm saying? I would just be like, I may be a little overweight, but that is just right now. This is not my final form. This is not my final state. I've had many different sizes, many different forms. I could lose weight if I want to. Ooh. Sorry, y'all. That scared the shit out of me. I'm being too powerful over here, y'all. But yeah, I could lose weight if I want to. I'm not always going to be this way, blah, blah, blah. And it doesn't matter. I like to tell myself that too. Like, being overweight doesn't matter. Look at Lizzo. She's a fucking millionaire. You know what I'm saying? So that's how transmutation look. That's the first step, along with changing your diet. I usually fast first to like reset my palate, because a lot of us, when we're going through it, we stress eat, and then the palate starts craving sugars and blah blah blah. So to reset my palate, I actually eat less, and then my stomach will shrink, and then I come back in maybe after 3 days or so. One time I did like 11 days, but that was a total reset. I can't do it now because, you know, I'm fixing my iron. But anyway, so like, yeah, you gotta, after that, you gotta get that diet right. You know what I'm saying? So that you can start generating some healthy cells, and you can have the nutrients and the energy for your brain to be at optimal performance. You gotta optimize that brain and them cells, girl. This whole vessel, you want it optimized. Okay? So that's number 2. And then, what was number 3? But them 2, like, you're going to start seeing some motion. You're going to start seeing things flow. You're going to start having some clarity. And then eventually it's just not going to hurt you. You know what I'm saying? It's like, that was what was. I'm ready for what, you know, what's next. Like, the possibilities are endless as to who you can be, what you can do. You know, you'll start to like rise above and realize like there's a whole world out there. Me and this person did not work out, right? And we had our reasons. You know, maybe I didn't like this and that about that person. But there are people out there who can't have kids. There are people out there who I don't know, they just value different things. Like, I was thinking about those people who go, I think it's called a surrogate, and they don't want their woman to have to stop what she's doing and carry their child, so they go put their egg and sperm in someone else. You know, there's just so many different types of people who do things different, who live different. There is absolutely no way that you cannot find your exact person. There's 8 billion people on the planet. Like, it doesn't make sense that you won't be able to find your person. They're out there, you know. So just think, like, you'll start to think bigger and look at the broader perspective versus that little small world that you were in with him, you know. You're getting ready like Aladdin to go to a whole new world. But yeah, so do those things, the transmutation, the mental and the sexual, and then your nutrition. I'm sure that's number 3. I gotta start writing this stuff down. But those are the most important to get you going, girl. Just make sure you don't go get up under another person and their baggage and whatever they got going on, and it's just going, you're gonna regret it later. Like, there are so many other things you could do with your life. Build that matriarch, be a queen, be a powerful woman, be greater than just being a girlfriend. You're not just a girlfriend, you're not just a wife, you're greater than that. You can do so much more than just be desired by men. Like, for me, I had this thing, I don't even want to be desired by men, because I know what most of them desire. Not all of them, most of them. And I'm not that. I don't want to be that. I want to look so undesirable to you. That lets me know that I'm doing good. If I don't look like the girl that's going to do your laundry, or I don't like the girl that's going to allow you to keep me in a box, I'm not going to be your sex slave. You know what I'm saying? Like, like, a good example is like one of my exes. I'm always changing and I'm always evolving, right? So I wanted to change the diet for the best for us. You know what I'm saying? I want us to be healthier, live better. We getting older. But he refused to change his diet, right? And he is as big as a house. He's fat as fuck now. And as we were, going along, he was starting to develop some health issues. But you see, I'm all about change and improvement. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can gain weight too, but I'm going to do something about it, because while I was with him, my weight will always fluctuate, because sometimes to get along, I would just give in and cook what he wanted, or eat, the basic stuff that he likes to eat, fast food, just, to seem normal. And then, I would have to work on it, because a woman can't get fat. You come fat ass if you want to, and they're gonna leave you. But he can be a fat ass, and a woman gonna love him. Like, lady, we're gonna have to talk about that too on another day. Like, cause this is ridiculous, and we need to be upping our standards and be strict with the program the way men are strict with the program. Cause they ain't gonna let your ass get fat. They don't want you then. I'm gonna show. This is photo about it. I'm gonna have to upload this little meme they made about it. But he can be fat, and y'all ladies over there rubbing his belly and shit, sucking dick in his motherfucking shit, sitting on your motherfucking forehead. Ladies, come on. The fuck? Y'all fucking the game up. Y'all the reason for this imbalance. I don't give a fuck. Women hold the power, and if shit is fucked up, it's because y'all. It's because of us. Like, we have to start to balance this place out by stepping into the driver's seat and stepping into our natural leadership position, because nature shows us that we are supposed to lead. The masculine submits to the feminine. I don't give a fuck what nobody say, all right? Thought precedes action, and that's just what it is. So, ladies, we got to get it together, and this is a part of getting it together. It's first coming together and stepping away from men, so that the world can balance itself out, so they can get themselves together and we can get ourselves together, and then come back, together in unity. All right. So that's my message for today. Teaching you ladies how to go through a breakup. I want you to know that it's a battle. It's a fight, because you're going to be fighting against your mind. That's what you're truly battling. You're battling your brain. Not your mind, your brain, because the brain and mind is separate. Your brain. Okay? And you're going from an unconscious state to a conscious state. But do not give up. And I want you to trust. I can almost guarantee you that this works. I guarantee. This is like erasing him from your memory. Like, so for real. Like, it never happened. You're not broken. Those painful things happen to you, but they do not define you. They do not make you. They don't. And you're not broken. There's nothing wrong. You just need to move past this and keep going. Okay? Your heart ain't broke, technically. You know what I'm saying? It's just the mind thing. Little feelings. You gotta move them feelings out the way and connect to that mind, baby. You know what I'm saying? The brain is the one generating the feelings. It's gonna come at you hard, girl. It's gonna feel like you can't move sometimes, like it's just, but you gotta take that driver's seat and say, like, I know this is just my brain. It wants to run the old code. It wants to go back to what we was doing because it's so familiar, but I'm ready to step out to the unfamiliar, whatever that may be and wherever that may lead. So yeah. But any questions, please drop them. Mwah.